it is essential that at the home front, at the school front, in the ministries, departments, and agencies, at government level, at religious sector, there is a need for us to learn properly well in order that we are able to be fit in the political arena, where management challenges, administration challenges will come to question. So for the year 2022, we are going to witness the following drawbacks, which must be prayed against and worked on to save the nation from harsh effects of. One, we are going to experience a ravaged economy. Some policies are going to be rolled out that will aggravate the harshness, sorrow, and sadness of the people. In fact, it will make most Nigerians to become more monstrous than those people that are now finding themselves in the market of social menace. Because it is as a result of economic drive that people are now joining the gang of kidnappers, gang of armed robbers, just to be able to survive. Where things are well regulated, institutional discipline will be there, ethical practices will be on, and everybody will be able to enjoy the services of those in government. That because of our case, ravaged economy is going to be experienced. Secondly, political cross-carpeting will be so rife. Why am I crossing from one political party to the other? Is it because I want to serve people? No. Why? Because I'm looking for greener pasture, which has led most of our youth into getting into the dens of lions, into getting into cheap debt, into becoming even monsters, ritualists, all because of quick money making syndrome. And that is what we are now experiencing in the political circle. When you cross carpet, we believe it must be out of the fact that this ideological concept is not acceptable again. Then let me go for where there is a better concept. But it is not so. People cross carpet mainly because if they are unable to get what they want here in terms of becoming richer, they go to another area where they believe power will be cheap to grasp and to be able to make wealth out of having an opportunity to get to the positions of power. That is democracy. That is not democracy. It is democracy. That is kleptocracy. That is not democracy. So all these things need to be visited because we are going to experience all these things. I don't know what we are going to do to be able to avoid all this. Price against education will be so high. A lot of things will be, most especially in the area of funding. There will be so much problems in this area, and education to a nation is germane and vital to growth and development, and to ensure that there is no upheaval. But a situation whereby we now toy with our education, then we should expect a lot of things. Are we saying the children should continue to roam about the street again? Forced holiday. Are we saying that those people that have been serving in the academic sector, now professors, should be carrying placards to get the tokens to be able to manage education well? So all this needs to be given right thought so that better planning, better results are achieved on time. Diabetes against education, challenges of religious sanctity collapse, and structural disintegration will be experienced in the religious circle. And once the spiritual life of the people is gone, they become monsters. They become monsters. They do whatever they want to do, irrespective of whose ox is God, irrespective of whether others survive. What will matter to human being is self. And self-concept is against the divine concept of God in all scriptures. It is about the principle of collectivism, communal life. That is what each religion stands for. That is a situation whereby there is religious passivity and that the sacredness of the houses of God is gone, then that will be profanity. We'll be having profane houses of God where you encourage all anti-societal behavior which may not favor the whole nation. We are crying today about why we have not been able to tame Boko Haram, why we have not been able to really ensure that banditry is gone. A situation whereby in Zamfara, for example, the bandits are now negotiating what they want from even governor, and they are giving him a kind of list for the distribution of such 37 million like this. Some will go to this 2 million, some will go to 9 million, all those things. So where those who are doing evil are negotiating with those people that are supposed to protect the citizens, then you can know that the culture is collapsed, the civility is gone, and the whole situation is in a mess. If you are able to read about the experiences of most people that all these bandits have gang raped, and those people that refuse being gang raped, they are shot just like that. In a nation where you are having governors, where we having the service chiefs around, where we having all those people that are supposed to protect us, what are they doing there? How competent are they? These are supposed to be my concern and your concern. So this particular year, 2022, is telling us that if care is not taken, our actions or inactions may consume us. The harshness may get aggravated, and we have to be careful. There will be security beef up need along some porous borders, which means we must expect a lot of surprises in terms of the peace of the country, the peace of the community, and the peace of the society, the state. We have to be very, very careful. And the major problem we are having is that we have left aside the fundamentals, the causative roots of the whole cases. We are only treating the surface of the problem. So we are over laboring all the so-called security agents, forgetting that they have wives, they have their children, they have their own management challenges, and we want them to be effective in serving us. So if we are unable to address how best to sanitize the cultural values to be restored on matter of self-esteem and integrity, then we will continue to miss it. Because once all these things are broken down, the children will just become monsters. Today, we could see what is happening in all our schools. primary, secondary, and tertiary institutions, children are now practicing cultism. Even in the open, to the surprise of a lot of people, where are we going? Don't they have parents? Don't they have principals? Don't they have VC? Don't they have those people that are supposed to really control all these things? What kind of nation are we where we are producing monsters? So all these things, we have to look at it well. Security beef up need along some porous borders. We know how porous our borders are. Except somehow in the south here, the borders in the northern parts of the nation is nothing to write home about. And that is why, even up to today, most leaders in the north are doubted to be true Nigerians. Because there is easy influx, even crossover from one Niger, from Cameroon, from Mali, from this country. So what are we doing? Why is it that we are so ineffective in controlling what belongs to us? So all these things should matter to all of us. Sports wavy performance and dimming image of Nigerian stars. That is what we are going to experience in the area of sporting activities. So before you are able even to take off, well, you must have wasted a lot of energy, wasted a lot of resources. In-house problem. Sports management, in-house problem will be there. Support for sports in the real sense of it will suffer. So by the time we now say that we are taking up, some of our stars will have lost their skill, dexterity, their sprinter prowess, and there will be problem. Stars are expected to become superstars. Stars are expected to increase because of the talent discovery strategy, which is always necessary. But all these things we have neglected, and that is why we are poorly managing what we have, and that is indirectly affecting us now. So on accidents or disaster, aviation will face some challenges. Some aircrafts may experience fire outbreak, may experience even avoidable collapse. So all these things need to be, and it's because of the fact that where maintenance issue has challenges, then we'll be having endangering of people's lives. Because what is supposed to be the safest is this aviation sector, traveling by the air. But now that if we neglect that area of service, maintenance services, then road crashes, road accidents, and some bridges will collapse. There will be reports on, and we know the implications of all this. It's about loss of lives. It's about getting maimed. And I will appeal to all the traffic wardens to please do their work accordingly. I will wish government to take that area very, very with all seriousness. And that I will appeal to all road users to please read all those signs. Don't speed when you are negotiating corners. Be reminded of where you have the bombs. And all other protocols concerning safe driving. It's only when we are alive that we can be driven or that we can drive. The dead do not know anything. And this particular year, 2022, we are expected to pray that there is less casualty, very, very less. But we need to work to achieve our wish. If wishes are to become prayer, then you work on it so that you have a resounding success in achieving your wishes. So, there are a lot of roads that are bad. Government will try as much as possible to save life through the necessary repair, necessary renovations, and the areas of reducing traffic jam. That is about creating overhead bridges and interchanges where necessary. So, means to pray against fire disaster, most especially in the oil industry. Cases of tanker splashing petroleum products to be rife, and that's going to be a loss of goodwill, a loss of money, loss of lives if care is not taken. Above all, COVID-19 new wave dimension. It was Delta variant the other time. It is now Omicron. Omicron shall be on for some months. The cleansing solution shall be effective towards the end of the year. For normal life situation of sanitized environments to be restored and sustained. So we have run down through the happenings in Nigeria month by month. And I will just rush through. January 2022, pray against policy theory on the economy. A policy that will throw the whole nation into going to seek redress against governments, into ensuring that every other thing government relies on is short, so that they are able to heed the people's warning on the need to reduce this spirit of harshness which has always been inflicted on innocent people, innocent Nigerians, by various governments, successful for that matter. But why the increasing profile in the harshness impact on the people? When you have succeeding governments, what we expect is a relief. What we expect is a change for a better future. Pray against a sudden collapse of one of the political parties in January. Collapse in the education sector shall create jittery experience. Religion dandruff shall peel off. Porosity in security network shall aggravate fear. Sports management porosity shall be experienced. On accidents and disasters, pray against accidents in the aviation sector. Be rightly guided against avoidable road accidents. COVID, the Omicron variant, shall be actively on in this month. So we have to be rightly guided and rightly equipped through the hygiene protocols. February 2022. Efforts to revive economy shall be rife. There will be a lot of efforts. Political saboteurs shall run into trouble. Revival efforts for education shall be on. Fraud in some houses of God shall be exposed. Month of security consciousness. Efforts to revive sports shall be on in this month. Need to avoid careless driving to avoid accidents must be sensitized. It's very, very essential in this month. Pray against pirate operations on the waterways. Need to be safety conscious at home and workplace to avoid fire disaster. More effective vaccine may be developed against COVID-19 Omicron variants. Economy revival in March process shall continue. A number in political involvement shall attract mob action. Education shall be visited for a boost. Festival season shall facelift religion. Security network shall catch on a big-time hoodlum. Sports on trial tests in this month. Pray against waterways accidents. And work are now best to avoid building collapse under construction. The search for effective remedy to prevent epidemic spread or outbreak of another disease shall take place. So watch, beware of the eyes of March. April 2022, relief for people through economic boost shall be experienced. People shall be relieved. So there will be some largesse of those things that will come from government. Dividend from political activities shall be on. Education shall receive a boost. Disappointment in religion shall be experienced even by adherents. Prowess in security networking activities shall be recorded. Revival efforts for sports shall be rife. Pray and work to avoid fire disaster in road accidents due to overspeeding. Pray against bushfire that may affect agricultural boosts. Hope for solutions seems to be in sight on COVID-19 Omicron variant. That is April. Pray that you are not a dead person for that time. May 2022. The nation shall realize boost in the economy. Pray against a sudden death of a political juggernaut in our political circle. Revival efforts on education shall be rife. Only few adherents shall triumph in the religious sector. On security network, there shall be active search for hoodlum. Sports revival dividends shall be realized in this month. We need to pray and work against accidents in the aviation sector and oil splash through road accidents, at least a petrol tank. Timely intervention shall be needed to avoid fire disaster. Solution and effective remedy is already on with search for sustained state of disease control and clean environment. That is in May. So we have to continue to observe that hygiene protocol. It's very, very essential. Even June 2022, favorable month for economic impact on the people. That's June. Politicians must work against dirty and shameful clashes. Sanitization in education shall be needed in this month. Some religious leaders with dubious character shall be net into the trouble of the law enforcement agents. This favorable month for sports preparation. Security alert in this surveillance period shall be on. There shall be repair and renovation needs in the aviation sector, while people must be security conscious on the road. People panic for safety and solution on COVID-19 Omicron variant. This will seem to be in sight through sensitization on hygiene protocol observation as a way of healthy living. So people panic for safety. The solution will emerge and people will have that hope that after all, but don't be a victim. Only a dead person continues to lie like a treasure in the grave. When you are alive, you are able to adjust. Be alive. Let us all observe the hygiene protocol. July 2022. Loss of goodwill in politics due to power wrestle without control will be experienced. Remnants due to paucity of funds and management in the education sector shall be experienced. And people will manage what they have. Diabolical activity in the religious sector shall attract attention of the people for surveillance. Pray against loss of grip by the security outfit on the hoodlum that may throw people into the side. Innovation need of structures in the sports sector shall be necessary. There shall be focus on the safety and security need in the aviation sector. Pray against fire disaster. Cleansing period seems to be over, with heightened hope for sustainable clean environments. So that relief in sight that after all, COVID-19, Omicron or whatever will not last forever. August 2022. Favorable month of planting season for farmers to boost the economy. Political fisticuffs